This episode of Talk Raytown is brought to you by the City of Raytown. Incorporated in 1950, the City of Raytown is 10 square miles and sits along 3 historic trails, Santa Fe, Oregon, and California. On July 17th, Raytown will celebrate its 75th birthday. Stay tuned for more details on the citywide celebration.
I'm Zac Sweets, and this is Damon Hodges, and you're listening to Talk Raytown. Cue the music. Wait, producer, did we actually get music this time? That was a bit, but we'll just cut all that out. Probably not with the way this goes. Damon, thanks for joining Talk Raytown. We were talking. This feels like the third time we've done this. So I think this is the second episode that will actually get recorded and out to folks.
True.
And you're a seasoned pro at coming onto this podcast.
I wouldn't say that, but yeah, I've been there.
Were you nervous at all? Now we're in a whole different setup, so it seems a little bit more formal.
Yeah, a little nervous. It's always nervous when you're behind the camera and talk, but you help me feel pretty comfortable.
Well,
I appreciate that.
You look comfortable, but we'll get to that in a bit. Speaking of being comfortable, it is great here in the studio here at the Raytown Quality School District comms office here, but it is cold outside. Yeah. And the start of the year was exactly that. Cold and full of snow. I mean, still seeing it out there today. Yeah. How did Raytown get through it?
Oh, man. Well, first of all, thank you for having it inside and having a warm spot. As far as us, man, I want to just thank our public works crew along with others that helped. Our team there, they knew we prepared for the time. The newscast, sometimes we tease weathermen about things like being exactly what they forecasted being. Well, this was exactly what they forecasted being and more. But we were prepared for it. And what we saw was about 11 inches on top of about a third of an inch of ice, which is not a fun thing to be on. With that one, what I heard was since 1993 was the last time we had something like that. In 93, I was definitely not shoveling snow so much, but I was definitely doing something around that time frame. But we did what we could do. Of course, everything's not gonna be perfect.
Right.
We had guys working 24/7. We did 12-hour shifts, and some of it was their first snow event, definitely first major snow event.
For sure.
You take that in consideration along with what it takes between the man hours, but you can't do it without your equipment along with our materials. I mean, we try to pre-treat before that started, try to address it as much as we could, and then after that, try to get to it in the middle of a blizzard. So, people don't think about it the same way, but while we're asking them to stay home, we're actually pursuing and trying to get to work. And, some of our guys got stuck and we had to go help them get out and get them to work, but it's definitely a team effort, between the calls, nowadays, compared to what it was in 93, now you get your information from so many different sources. And the expectation is that you respond to those as quickly as you received them. And that doesn't always happen, but we try our best to do what we can. Like we were just talking earlier about the fact about dial-up internet. Well, nowadays everything is so fast. So we get our information both from the line. We have people call in, along with on social media, along with using our website to submit your issues that you may have, and checking on that. We try to ask people to give us about 48 hours or so before they start calling, because we try to prioritize our streets.
Absolutely.
And main ones to try to do our major thoroughfares, trying to get people out back to the areas where they need to go to work, and then we hit the residentials as we go along. And with this type of storm, it's hard to do, because on top of getting the snow, you get almost 12 inches of snow. That's a lot of snow to get away, to get out the way.
And where are you moving it to? Yeah,
edges as we can. And some people probably notice that, as you move them over to the edges, they won't give you the entire street, but that's something we pride ourselves on here in Raytown, that we try to give the full street where we can. So it was a lot of going back repetitively around the same street, but the guys did it. And, you know, I might be a little biased, but I thought they did an excellent job in doing what they were doing. So.
Well, two things came to mind. First off, just it's a testament to the work that the city has done before the storm, not in storm prep, but just letting the residents of Raytown know where to call, where to send in information when you do need your city to respond. And so the fact that that was a major source of information so that you all knew where to be, on top of just getting, you know, your normal charge. The other side of it too, in my role with Evergy, I have to work with cities like Raytown and let them know what's happening, especially during storms. And, you know, I was surprised by the low amount of outages, not saying anything about our infrastructure, do a great job taking care of it, but just a storm like that can stress any infrastructure.
Definitely.
And the ease by which, relative ease that our crews were able to get out and respond, I think is a, you know, just goes right into showing the work that you all did to clear the roads. So it's certainly great job. Good marks by the city on that snow removal is good practice for the next one, right? Oh
yeah, hopefully it'll be further down. As you said, we still got snow out there. So as we see it, you know, even looking at what's going on down south, I mean, I feel for those crews down there. You know, something that they're not typical. Are used to, they're having to get out there to try to make sure their citizens get around. You know, our objective is to you know, serve the citizens of Raytown, and one of our major ways is providing snow removal. So you know, and you know, we also ask the citizens, you know, to do certain things like try to park on one side of the street for us in order to allow us to be able to go down and do the removals. When you start to look at cul-de-sacs and things like that, that seem like not that big of a deal, but when you got 11 inches of snow, like you said earlier, where does it go? And we don't want to try to pack people in, so we try to ask them to do that. So we ask them to just continue looking at our communications whenever we have those events. We try to get things out as quickly as possible through our social media channels, and ask them to look at things we may ask as far as where to park at, things of that sort, to help with the crews and help them doing what they're trying to do.
Yeah. So. Absolutely, and when talking about just engagement with the residents, what kind of let's shift a little bit to looking forward, because I know that there are several things that constituents of the city of Raytown are eager to hear an update on, or have just seen and been like, what's going on over there? So let's start first with the police department's annex. I understand that is going to be a pretty involved demo and construction and a project taken on by the city. What can you kind of just, if I didn't know about it, what can you tell me about the project as it stands?
Sure. First of all, we had to demolish a building that's been out there since the early 80s, 90s time frame. And it's our annex that will allow, that just not only would help us with our evidence storage, but also help us on the community development side. Sometimes we with help us for everything from storage for equipment, things of that sort. But the evidence side is really big. That's what the need for it. The building we had before, the demolition took us about less than 10 minutes once the right equipment got there. So kind of give you an idea of where we were with the building we had. You know, and but it's been a need for quite some time. Ultimately, we know we needed it. Since I've been here, I think we bid it at least 3 times, project-wise. And this last bid that we used, the contract we decided to go with, it has 5 bidders responded to it. So we vetted those costs by doing that. We do what we call in the state of Missouri, lowest and best bid, and went with this bidder here. And you know, thankfully we didn't have the funds before, but we're able to utilize the ARPA funds to pay for this project, which is American Rescue Plan funds, and it's allowed us to move forward with that. And the project itself, man, last week we started the demolition, did a kickoff, and you've probably seen the video go around where we're using the sledgehammers. We didn't knock it all the way down ourselves, but the contractors did come on behind us and finish up, and they've already started the project, and we're hoping to be done this coming late spring, early summer.
Oh wow!
With it,
okay.
New building that's been in the need for quite some time. So,
yeah, and we're talking about a project that is $549,000 investment.
Yeah, this. Yep.
And so how much did the ARPA funds, when we're talking about percentages, what does that allow? Like if we might talk about a small amount, a large amount, but what does that actually mean for a local municipality to get those federal funds?
Sure. Well, for us, it helps, put a stopgap to certain things. With that one, that was about 10% of our ARPA funds that we received. Each municipality received a certain percentage based off the equation that we didn't come up with, but it was come up with by the federal government. And so we had to allocate those to certain projects, not to every project. And one of them was to help out with police departments and public, addressing police departments and other things like that. So ours allowed us to be able to move forward. You tell me a project is going to also you have to do everything from demolition. It has a dehumidifier, certain type of storage that's necessary for evidence, along with the HVAC system that's for a commercial type project. So those type of things, they cost. Yeah. And so it is, it's good for us to be able to still move forward with the project. And not only that, but also allow our police department to be able to provide the services they need.
With any project that a municipality will take on, we're talking about costs, there is, I would say, fair questions of, wait, why does that cost that much? Mm-hmm. So when we're looking at a building that's 1,200 plus square feet, what is the largest cost in that project, and sure. why so much for such a relatively small?
Yeah, and most people probably relate it to their own as far as doing a home, but when you bid government projects and federal and funds, you have to have certain things like your wages have to be at a certain point, which is probably more than what you would pay if you did your own home building. So those wages are set. Those are not something that we set. Those are set by the federal government. Along with that, other things are materials-wise. You're talking about a commercial space that will provide a service that we're looking to be long-standing for the services for our police department. Along with the shelvings, things like that are not just a regular shelf you get out at the store. These are items that's necessary for the type of equipment and things of that sort that we're going to have within there. And the other one is when you look at the dehumidifier, things like that, you got to keep them at a certain temperature while it's outdoor placement. And it's multiple use. It's not just with our police department, it's also with our community development department, which provides animal control services and things of that sort. So, okay. So you're not looking at a building like a multiple use building that can help be an asset to our citizens.
Yeah, I mean, really trying to just make the most out of the investment long term. Yes. And speaking of like long term investment, one of the things that it seems like is a never ending for any city work is when we're talking about work on streets. Streets, storm drains, and everything like that. So I know that I had to kind of take the detour to get here today. Can you talk to me about 59th Street? And that was the one where if I was just somebody coming through Raytown every so often, I'd be like, what the heck is going on here? Why so long? This is a stretch I need.
Yes.
So why disrupt a really heavily utilized stretch of road? What's the work going on there?
Well, I hope it's a small inconvenience for a larger gain.
There you go.
That's the objective. So, 59th Street project, which I smile because it is the largest storm sewer project we've had as a city. But the even greater part of that is 80% of that is paid for by grant funds, which are not out of our own coffers. And that's you contribute that to our staff and working with our board, along with Senator Barbara Washington's office, who helped us in Jeff City, and the Missouri Department of Natural Resources, which provided the grant. We're one of the only municipalities here locally that received that in this region. It's only for the state of Missouri, but here we're the only ones here, this local region, that received this grant. It was done throughout the state of Missouri as well. So it is a $6 million storm replacement project. It's been on our books. Some of that storm has been in the books since the 70s, 80s, some since the 90s. And if you probably heard over the years, I've tooted my horn a lot about the CMP, which is corrugated metal pipe. Eventually, it
Okay, your public work nerd is coming out.
I know it is. It is. I have no doubt about that one. So it's coming out there. So we have to replace that pipe, and then when you start to talk about 90-inch pipe, think about 90 inches.
Yeah.
So most people, 72 inches is 6 feet. So you're talking about more than 6 foot tall, and the pipe that you can pretty much walk through. Well, when you do that, you got to make sure you open up a spot to where you can actually do it. And you got to do it safe without the traveling public. So that's part of why you see the closure. But the closure also means progress. So when you start to see those cones, you start to see those roadway closures, the construction's happening and progress is happening for our city.
Yeah.
And what's greater to have progress than someone else paying for that progress?
There you go.
And if you ever want to see a little bit more of it, I know I'll do a little plug there for the chamber. We go to the Facebook page, and they're doing a little Facebook Live to show the progress there, and we'll have to share it on our social media outlets as well as the city. But it's a project that's been in the making for quite some time. And, when we did our bond, it was one of the major projects. And at the time, we thought it would be something that was a $6 million project, and we got a $7.2 million bond. But look at what ended up happening. We were able to receive a almost $4.5 million grant, which helped alleviate that, and we're able to see ARPA funds on the other side to help make the other portion. So now that $7.2 million will go towards other projects that we're in need of.
What did when that call, that email, that text, however information flowed, when you first learned that the city was going to get those funds from a large amount of those funds from the state, what was the kind of the talk amongst the city team as to what that meant as a testament to your all's work? Was there, you obviously are proud of it, and sure. You and your team should really be proud of it. It's kind of unheard of that 80% of a project for a city is not coming directly out of general revenue and whatnot. But what was the conversation internally amongst city staff of like, hey, we might have done something really good here?
Mm-hmm. Excitement. It takes a lot to even do those, to apply for the grants. That's not just a overnight situation. You have to do everything from providing background information, providing your census information.
Okay.
It was based off of census information along with your budget. So that's another key thing for our citizens, to make sure when the census comes out that they complete that, because that's where a lot of the funds were dictated based off of the census information. And you want to do a complete application. So that shows that not only did we follow a thorough application process, but we backed it up with what we were trying to do. And so, one of the things we preach at for my staff at Raytown City Hall, we're not at the table, we're on the menu. So if we have opportunities, we want to be at the table to be able to apply for those opportunities. And if we can't throw our hat in, we want to have an opportunity to actually receive anything back from it. So we wanted to make sure we did a thorough application. We worked with those in Jeff City to help if they had any opportunities to make sure they sent them our way. And that was done with Senator Washington's office. We go down there quite often to go visit with them and give them, the needs we have as a city on behalf of our citizens. And I can tell you that need was filled with that situation.
I always appreciate hearing and seeing stories about how that partnership that is our society working together, and what that means. What I mean by that is the city's doing its part.
Definitely. The
citizens are doing their part by it might seem like, the census it has nothing to do with Raytown.
Definitely.
But in reality, there's a connection point there, and then working with elected officials to make all in concert make something like this possible.
Definitely.
So that's a feel good. I know we're talking about storm drains and everything, but that's a feel good story there.
Yeah, and it's going to take a little time to get done, so there will be some continual inconvenience.
Sure.
The project, it's going to take about a year to be done. All in all, but you're still talking not only will you see there on 59th Street, but it will go from Raytown Trafficway to Raytown Road and up towards, I call it the green space, but it's up towards the library area. So you got quite a bit of area to cover, but in that, you got quite a bit of area that you'll see that will be a new updated storm drain along with new curb and gutter and new asphalt, things of that sort.
Mm-hmm.
So a new project that hopefully we'll be doing a ribbon cutting for by the end of next year or so.
It really necessary, unseen infrastructure that makes future growth possible.
There you go.
Speaking of future growth,
see, I'm rubbing off on you. You might be coming that direction.
Speaking of future growth, the 53rd Street redevelopment. What's going on with that?
Yeah, another great collaboration, kudos and thankfulness to our Congressman Cleaver and his office, who have been a great advocate for the city of Raytown, and just for the state of Missouri, just nationally. I can't speak even higher of them than how they are. Always been the ones who have open door policy to us to contact them and ask them for opportunities. And our Parks Board, our Parks Director, and the Parks Board themselves have been able to submit for a grant. When they received that, Parks Director Dave Turner, he did an awesome job regarding that, leading his team. And this one here would be a great redevelopment effort, working with our public works staff as well, and with our Board of Aldermen as well. Now we might see where we have things, once we get the demolition has already been done thus far, where you probably remember it being the old Super Splash. Mm-hmm. So where you had a lot of pools, things like that. Well, they've done a major portion of that already, and now they're moving forward to where you'll have a splash park, a dog park, some amenities that some of our citizens have been looking forward to. We just don't have at other places. That would hopefully be a nice little destination for you to be able to go to as a citizen around here that can, not only treat you if you have younger kids, but also if you have your dog or your animal that wants to be able to get out too as well. So,
yeah, that's great, and I know that's something that you all hear get a lot of questions about. What's up with the old Super Splash? What are we doing? So, what's the expected timeline? I know things can. Yeah,
that would same thing. It'd probably be done this coming year. Hopefully, this coming summer time frame. Because it takes a little time. The snow and the weather also kind of hits that one, because we also had to do an infrastructure project with it in order to make room for the potential project and finishing up. So there's a couple of moving parts there, but both teams have been working together with the Public Works and the Parks Department on providing this asset to our citizens. So it's what's funny about that too is like I call it a little hidden jewel, because you drive by, you probably won't notice it, but we hope for that you'll notice it for good reasons, and that it will be a place for people to come and just have a nice little time out. So when all the snow is melted and the sun is out and the temperatures are a lot warmer than what we got right now, we have a place to go.
Yes. Well, hey, Missouri is known for having all the extremes. You had mentioned bonding earlier, and so when we're looking at other projects before the city, don't take your public works hat off yet. Talk to us about the Go Bond with the storm updates. I know that's been just kind of ongoing.
Mm-hmm. It has been. We started a couple of years ago. We've had two bond initiatives that were put on the board the board of aldermen decided to put on the ballot, and we had of those two, one was for roadways and the other one was for a storm. One was able to pass, and that was our storm one. And like I mentioned earlier, that one of the major projects of that bond amount was the 59th Street project, but we're receiving the grants and ARPA funds. We were able to move that to something else and then use that funds for other projects. And so for this past almost year or so, we've been working on reviewing all the different areas that we may have needs at, because we knew that the amount that passed, we had well past the needs of that amount. But we wanted to do what we can with what we were receiving from our voters, and thank them for that. And with that, we had several meetings around the community, did some vetting along with our design professional that we've been working with regarding that. And man, we had about 90 places that we designated that had a need, but of course we couldn't do all 90, not yet. But we took and prioritized those 90, and now we'll boil them down to over 7+ places, but that's 7 combined from those projects. Some of them we can do ourselves. So, and we're looking at starting those right now in design and starting to do those projects probably towards the end of this year, late fall, early winter, to start doing actual bidding out projects from there.
Okay.
It's $7.2 million. It sounds like a lot, but when you start doing major projects, you stretch your dollar as much as you can. Some that we can do internally and whatever we can to utilize those funds to the best of our ability.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, just really trying to find ways to just maximize where you are at this current time, able to spend that money and that attention.
Definitely, and we appreciate those who were able to come out. We gave our citizens a couple ways to provide us feedback. One was online, the other one is on, to attend the meetings, and that showed a lot for them to come out and believe in us and trying to follow through. And with that, out of those 90 locations, that just created a list for us to be able to go next towards. Because when you do capital planning, you just want to plan for 1 year. You want to plan for years to come. And, right now we have our plans for years to come. And that's a good thing because as our citizens look through our budget books and look through where we are financially, they'll understand that when we come to them and ask them for the opportunity to spend the money in certain places, where it's going.
Yeah.
And I think the more we plan and more we show them our plans, I think the more that we garner their backing and also their vote and their reassurance that what we're going to do with those funds is what we've been doing and putting them to good use.
That absolutely. Where can I'm not going to pontificate on the political theory of if you just respond to your citizens' needs, they're going to be happy to Anyways, I digress. Yeah. You all are doing a great job, and it showed, right? And you're doing a great job to be intentional about showing the citizens what they did pass, why it is important, but also what you're doing with it. Yes. Where can citizens follow along on this journey?
Sure, they can go on our website, oneraytown.com, and also go follow us on our social media channels for everything from Facebook, Instagram, and that gives them opportunity to kind of see the progress that we're having. And Tim, we try to have a couple of meetings a year where we do a town halls to kind of give updates of what we're doing project-wise, which is to me is also just as much of giving them the opportunity to ask us questions, but also give them the opportunity to get an update on where we are with projects. And but the biggest thing is what they see before them. When you see something. Like you said, when you see that sign or you see that certain areas where we're doing those construction projects, you see that money is being put to good use.
Yeah. Well, it helps whenever you're telling the story. Why are we here? Why does this help everybody? And you talked about having a plan. And we'll shift gears slightly out of order, but I know that last time we talked about the city thinking about their comprehensive plan, making plans to make a new plan, it was in the notes there that the last city comprehensive plan was done in '96. '96. Now I try not to talk age, right? But I was all 4 years old, depending on which month we're talking. So I'm glad that we're doing that now.
Definitely.
But where are we on the comprehensive plan?
Definitely. 4 years old. Oh, man, Zach.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that to
you. My grades would tell you where I was around that time frame. Definitely wasn't 4. But you're right. 96 kind of give you more of a idea of where we were, and think about where you were in 96. Well, you were 4,
not me.
But where the world was in 96 and where we are now. Like I mentioned earlier, when dial-up internet and things of that sort, what the needs are of your citizens now in comparison. I guarantee you, Starbucks or a coffee place was not the way it is now. I mean, it was a coffee shop, but not a drive-through coffee is a need like you got now. So there's things that citizens want to see now that we want to hear from them on. And that's what that comprehensive plan is done, is to help us and guiding us with a plan. And we've been almost a year into it now, which we knew it would take about a year or so to do that. And we're looking at some updates coming in the near spring. We'll try to finish it up before this summer and roll the plan out. So it's come along really well. We've had several meetings since you and I talked, and good response from our citizens regarding that one. That one too has a website called RaytownOnTheRise.com. One of our last meeting has a template, and I think we had every bit of 45 plus people there. Sounds like not a lot, but when you start to think not everyone is able to come out, but 45 to probably about 50 plus, but they're giving feedback in all diasporas of ages, all diasporas of backgrounds, those who may have just moved to Raytown, those who've been here lifelong Raytowners, and those are all who we want to hear from, because what we're looking at is, I want, like I tell people all the time, I want it to be able to, when you sell your house and you move to your next chapter of your life, that house can be sold to another family to raise their family in. So, and what does that family want? And that's what it's about. That's what the next 20-year plan is about, is giving the assets in order to make our city attractive for others to come and live here. And so, that plan helps us, guides us from everything from our capital improvements to our zoning, to our changes of our ordinances and things of that sort, to be able to, attract those new people.
What's, without getting too far into just the preliminary white pages, what's something that you've seen so far in some of the responses that might have surprised you?
Not a whole lot. Most of it was kind of what they want us for certain areas. I mean, right now they want us to definitely build around our downtown area, work on redevelopment. Trails have been a big thing, is how do we provide more assets for people to do activities. They want to be more active. People are more active right now anyway, but when I give them assets to where they can be active at, those are probably other things. The other ones, updating certain aspects of your communication, from our standpoint. But for the most part, we kind of had an idea what was there.
Sure.
But nothing that's really surprised me. But I will say that the amount of that last meeting, the amount of people that came with a desire to want to see change, but also ready to get behind helping with that change, that didn't surprise me, but that invigorated me.
That's great.
That people want to get behind the change.
Yeah.
And, because it's not just city staff that's going to make that change. You create your city by who you are and by what you do as a citizen, and that goes from everything from helping your neighbor with something to to how you shop at a store and what you want to see. So those things are what I've seen from those meetings. So.
I mean, you just, every time we sit down and talk, I'm like, man, do I just need to live in whatever city you're the city administrator for? Because you're just talking about a lot of things I think most people would just kind of shrug off. But you're like I keep saying, Raytown is just showing time and time again that just showing up and responding to the citizens and providing what they can for their citizens, it pays off for the citizens and the long-term health and vitality of the city.
I agree. Thank you. It's not always easy, but it's needed. I mean, when I think about that what we do on the day-to-day that helps a person get to where they need to go, I'm hoping we're serving the best way we can for them. Everything from a business to a person who's just deciding where they want to move to or live at. So you think about it in some ways, but sometimes you'll meet somebody. I remember I went to a optometrist, and the guy that was helping me fit my glasses, like, I just bought a house in Raytown, and I'm like, because he saw where I worked at, he's like, I just bought a house there, and got to talk to him and ask him why, and and when I think about what his reasons were behind that, which were, one, the cost of living, but two, that the size of the house, and he wanted opportunity, and he felt like that when he drove in the area, he liked the neighborhood feel. And so that's where we are. And I want to, hopefully, that we keep that so that others might say, I want to buy a house in Raytown. I want to continue living here in Raytown. So.
Absolutely. Well, service is a word that you've said multiple times. And I think one way again, the city embodies that is through the minor home repair program. That is, I think we're live, we're open on that. Tell me more about the minor home repair program.
Great program. We do that with Truman Heartland Habitat for Humanity. And it's a combination where we provide about $5,000 of city of the funds to help with seniors and providing them a service. So that goes from everything from roof repairs to paint, to whatever they may need in order for their home to still be accessible and useful. And it's a program that I would say probably 5-6 years ago we weren't, the list was pretty minimal as far as people that were signing up, maybe more than that. And to a point where the board was, we just kept working through, and each year the board was like, we'll keep this in our budget, and hopefully we'll get some more people applying. And part of it was, people were hesitant to apply because then, you got to prevent your income information and things of that sort. So, but as we got it out there and people started getting testimonies on how it's helped them, from everything from a driveway repair to things like that. So over the years, now we're at a point where we got a waiting list.
Oh, wow.
And that was, and the board increased the funds each year because the list can continue getting longer. But we only have so many funds to utilize. And one of the things that our Board of Aldermen decided to do, and working with our staff along with them, was after some of the presentations and the testimonies of residents, and seeing how we were working with it to utilize some of the ARPA funds to do it. And so the next 2 years we're utilizing some of our ARPA funds to triple what we had before. So now instead of 50,000, it's 150,000.
Wow.
And that one, we still have we got a list. I think we had about 90 plus people that signed up.
Okay.
And we sometimes you get a little, people don't like to see us when we come around to give tickets for certain things, or put a notice on your door about peeling paint or something in disrepair. But our staff is also very kind and wants people to do it, to help as much as possible. So in that, a lot of the time we direct them to that program if they know they're on a fixed income and things of that sort. So not only are you doing one side, but you're also trying to help people.
Yeah.
And so that helped increase the program as well.
Yeah, and you said it tripled. I mean, $150,000. How many homes? How many projects roughly?
Yeah, that would at 5,000 people. You're talking almost
30 or so.
Yeah, almost 30 plus prime. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing 10 a year, and I think we're right now we're trying to use this year to do at least 20, just double that for the next 2 years. It'll be 20 plus. So that would have us spend almost 200,000 the next 2 years.
That is no small impact.
No, not at all.
Even like you said, if it's peeling paint for that one individual, let alone the community, the impact that makes.
Yeah, you're talking 40 different residences that would be able to be addressed and helped.
Wow, that's a great program.
Yeah.
None of this is possible without personnel. Yes, we do need to make sure there's money there available, X, Y, Z, but even if you have all the money you need, still have to find people. I know one thing that we talked about last time we talked was just recruitment. Where's the city's recruitment efforts?
Oh man, that got me smiling as well too, because just like that program I was mentioning about the minor home repair program, it took a lot of effort too. We hired Diane Egger, as our community development director, and she is taking off on that program. That takes the phone calls, on top of doing the rest of her job, which includes managing our community development department, her and her staff. She had to build her staff because we were pretty low on staffing there, to a point to where the board has agreed to give her another staff person because of how well they've done. Then taking on animal control. So, when you hire people like herself, I think the last time I was here, I was down. I just hired a few directors. She was one of them, community development director. We hired a public works director, Robinson Camp, who brought several years of experience to us, and has continued on projects like 59th Street and like the Geo Bond project, and just picked the ball up and kept running, him and his staff as well. And then we got Michael Graham, which is my finance director. So those three directors are three people we hired within the past less than 3 years, and all come with experience and all have done a great job on continuing that. But then you got people that have been there for quite some time, but intermediately is our Chief Robert Pugh has been there that I hired, but as well as Dave Turner and others that have been on staff for quite some time. And it's good to have that mixture. So now going back to what you're talking about, so now as you establish your leadership, so now how do you recruit to make sure those departments are full? And that's probably been the hard part for them, but we try to get them what they can. And our board has agreed to, we had a staffing study as well as a salary study, so get our compensation up to be be able to compete with other jurisdictions, and created an incentive program to allow us to compete with drawing and making us, I mean, when you think about it, when you got a public works employee, a parks employee, a police employee, we're all kind of competing in the same ground.
Sure.
And so you want to not only increase your incentives to make sure that people can come, but also make sure that you have the culture where people want to stay. And I can say we've done a good job of that. We're at a time now where we still have some vacancies in our police and our public works department. But for the most part, though, we're probably at, as far as not having vacancies, we're probably the most hires we had in quite some time, definitely since the pandemic. But we still have some openings, and our police department is almost full compared to where it was back when we had during the pandemic, as well as the public works department, which I mentioned earlier that we have some that were just brand new to the to snow removal, but that's a good thing, and that's also a testament to them and their leadership and that culture of having people come and then want to stay where they are. Mm-hmm. So it's been long standing, but it's been a good fight, and I'm glad that we are where we are. But I wanted to continue to attract any more people who want to be part of the team. So if you want to be part of a great team, part of a great culture, have a job where you have great benefits, a retirement program, you got your holidays and a competitive salary, please come aboard. Please check us out on the Raytown website. We have vacancies and openings. And if you want to serve as a police officer, please take the opportunity and at least investigate the profession, and see if that's something you would like to do in your own community.
Yeah, I mean, we just cut the commercial right there.
Oh, I appreciate that.
We'll send that on over so y'all can put that out there.
Shameless plug.
Hey, no, that's where we're here. And as you say, shameless plug, we might run into rapid fire on what is up. So we talked about what's past. We got the snow almost past us. We talked about what we're looking in the future. What's in the near future? And I think the first thing that comes to mind is probably the mayor's State of the City.
Oh, yeah, State of the City's coming up very soon. Mayor Mike McDonough does a great job with that. That's coming up in February. I think it's February 27th. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and please, with the chamber is the one that holds it for him, and you want to get an update on the city and where the city's going. It's a great opportunity, and then following that you have the election, in which there are 5 of the 10 alderman spots are up for election. When you do it, everybody has a 4-year term, so every 2 years, 5 are up for election. And this year, you have 5 up for election. I think that's April 8th.
Yep. No questions, just the seats. Just
the seats. No questions on there. And you can look on our website to see who the candidates are for your ward. I advise you do that. As voters, please go out and see who you're voting for, and please vote. I am very much a proponent of voting, not only because it impacts my job, but seriously, voting is something we all should do. And when I look at here in the local level, I've seen elections won by 1 vote. Mm-hmm. I also seen a bond not passed by less than 40 votes. So every vote counts. And so April 8th, and I've even tell this to younger people who are just turned 18 and now are eligible to vote. It's not just a presidential election you should vote in, but also your local elections you should vote in as well. So, and that will be one. And so I hope people get out and vote on April 8th.
Yeah, well, they're going to because you told them to.
I appreciate that. I wish it was that easy. I wish my kids would be that way too. Because I told them to. But
there's also Recycle Fest.
Yeah. Recycle Fest.
What is Recycle Fest?
So Recycle Fest, we started a couple years ago. It was something that was asked for by quite a few citizens. We do everything from we accept TVs, equipment, things that we can recycle and not see, sadly, on the side of a road or in places it should not be or left in there. So we typically have it at Raytown South, but more details will be coming regarding where we'll hold it at in the time frame. But every year it's been a great, greatly attended and used. Some people they come with a carload.
I'm sure.
But it's needed because it's better for them to come and recycle, and it can be reused instead of being an impact to the environment. And also this year we signed back up with the Household Hazardous Waste Program.
Oh, great.
HHW is what they probably see that saying, and they can follow both of those items and find out more information on our either on our website or on our social media outlets for the city of Raytown. But that one last year was our first time to be part of that program that's offered regionally, and we had a site here that we did. You also can go as a Raytown citizen. You can go in 2 locations to go, and you can look on the website to get that location to where you can dispose of a household hazardous waste, which is everything from oil to antifreeze to pesticides to paint is another one. And it's several locations that they can go to do that. And the board itself worked with our budget, and we signed up with the program. We pay each year to be part of that program. Last year we had a mobile site here, and I want to say we served over 220 cars, vehicles.
Oh, wow.
It was an all-day event.
I'm sure.
A lot of our bags are. I don't know if anybody wants to see that in the summer again, but it was a great event. Had a lot of people that attended, and worked with the school district, Raytown Central, to hold it. And out of the grouping, which is several communities, I think we were about the top 3 most attended and most collected event they had.
I'm noticing a theme with the Raytown community always showing up.
Yeah, definitely.
I won't say you all are showing out, but if y'all show out, it better be at that 75th anniversary. Right?
That's true.
Got that coming up this year.
Yes. 75th anniversary, and that'll be this coming. We're gonna celebrate in July. That one, and we got several events that'll be coming up. The mayor is working along with others to come up with that agenda and everything that will come out. So look forward to that. On those dates, I believe it's end of July.
Yeah, July 17th.
July 17th, that's it. And so please follow us, and so you can find out and come out. I mean, it's going to be, of course, it'll be fun for the whole family.
Yeah.
This is how we do it, because we already do the Raytown Live and other events too that we hope will be well attended. But this, to me, would just be a precursor for what's next for the World Cup. But, when you start to think 75th anniversary, and, it sounds like a low number, because the older I get, the more that number sounds like it's okay. But that also means you got a lot of people, and hopefully all age groups come out to enjoy and to and have a little fun there and celebrate 75th anniversary of establishing Raytown.
That's pretty great.
Yeah.
And, I wasn't going to let you leave. What you got there?
Yeah, you got
What's this scarf?
my scarf, my little fashion piece I got here. It's the scarf celebrating 2026, the World Cup. And I know I've been tooting that horn for a while, but it's coming.
Yeah.
I mean, literally it's a year away. Just down the street, we're right in the right spot at the right time with the right people in place. So hopefully we can partake, not only just partake, but also participate. And along with participating, I go back to that. If you're not at the table, you're on the menu. We're at the table where we can to help with our citizens. So, there's the World Cup is coming. So let me just tell people what it is. World Cup is a international soccer event that this will be the largest field, and it's done with the United States, Mexico, and Canada. The first time it's 3 countries hosting, and it starts in 2026 in June, I believe. And just right down here, I can't say GEHA. GEHA,
Yep.
and used to be Arrowhead. They'll be having 6 events, including the quarterfinal. And some ask, well, what's the big deal? Well, have you been to the Chiefs game? It's about 80,000+. Well, now think about 90,000+ people there, and 6 times within less than 4 weeks.
And multiple games a day, I think 4.
4, yes.
Each day as well. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, you got plenty of activity. And the hope is that we can have people not only come here and use our restaurants, our businesses, to to go through our city and drop a few dollars where they can, so that our businesses can all thrive from that. And so part of us is promoting and showing that Raytown is a welcoming city to those who are going to be coming from all around the world. I didn't say U.S., I said all around the world. And hopefully you'll see this someplace internationally. I'm not traveling internationally right now, but I'm sure.
I thought you were about to say, I'm not taking this internationally.
I will take it internationally. I will take this internationally and take a few pictures wherever we can. So, but that's the hope. And, as we promote it and want people to come out and, these are being sold at our chamber as a fundraiser. So you can get in contact with our chamber president there, Jeff Hurst. And
he's an all right guy.
He is a pretty good guy. He sounds like he got me looking pretty fashionable with this scarf. So, but if you want to, please go and participate. You notice those Raytown colors of the red and blue. But great opportunity. We're looking at it. We're trying to provide access from the trails to the roadways. We're trying to make sure our city is looking welcoming as it should during that time frame.
Get them streets ready.
Yeah. Get out their way, especially on Raytown Traffic Way, 59th Street.
Oh yeah.
That's part of trying to. It's good that we got that project started. Because you don't want. That's going to be one of the major thoroughfares for people getting to the stadium. And I don't know if most people know that they're not allowing them to park in the parking lot. So.
There's no tailgating?
No tailgating.
Wrong football.
Wrong football. But, hey, there'll be opportunities there that people got to go someplace to watch the game and someplace to get to the game.
I'll find my way to Raytown.
There you go. There you go.
Well, Damon, I appreciate you coming on the Talk Raytown. It's always chock full of good stuff.
Yes.
I feel like anytime we get to the end of an episode, if I was listening, I would be like, I don't have to listen for another year until Damon comes back on.
I appreciate that.
But you and your team, Tony, here with us recording, y'all do a great job on keeping the community informed and having a pulse on what is important, what would folks want to hear about, and it really it makes an avenue like the podcast useful. So really appreciate your time. Thank you for sporting the chamber scarf. If you were hoping to get to the State of the City address next week on February 27th, it is at Connection Point Church. You can get one of those. I promise you. You can probably get more than one. There's no limit on how much fun and scarves that you can have. So be sure to check the chamber website for the scarves, and be sure to look up the city's website. What is the city's website one time?
Yes, Raytown.mo. Yes. Raytown.mo.us. And also, thank you for the opportunity, and I just want to thank the Board of Aldermen, our mayor, for what they do, and the service. And I'd be remiss too if I don't thank the volunteer. We have a lot of volunteer boards as well that do a great job, planning and zoning, our Parks Board, and others that volunteer for service to their community and what they do. And most of all, I just want to also thank my staff. Everybody there. From the mechanics to our police department, our police chief, our community development, our finance department, our public information officer. So help me a lot in what I do, and so I appreciate that.
Absolutely. It all works together in concert to give us this great community. Well, make sure that if you haven't already, subscribe, all the things for the podcast, for Talk Raytown. Even comment on how great this scarf looks on Damon, if you'd like. And we'll make sure that we see you next time on Talk Raytown.